to today's show. I wanted to talk about this character, Little Peep or Lil Peep. People have been asking me about this guy. Wasn't aware of who he was. Wasn't going to do a video on it until I watched a recent video that he did a few months ago called Awful Things. And I'm talking here about a guy, a grown man, who apparently was going by the name of Lil Bo Peep. Lost his sheep. Little Andrew Dice Clay there. But of course, when any of these people die, people start talking about rituals and are these people sacrificed? But these people do actually die, because a lot of these people are actually into drugs and into really, sick lifestyles of alcohol abuse, drug abuse, and all those types of things. This guy, from the look of him, I mean, it's tough on the eyes to see this guy, but this guy clearly was in the occult, clearly was a Satanist. And just because somebody who's in the occult dies doesn't mean it's some type of hit on them. Because like I said, these people do drugs and they do abuse alcohol. But if you look at this video that he did, which of course is 3 minutes and 33 seconds, so you get your 33 there. This guy has the basic symbols that I've been telling people about, including the pentagram, the star behind his ear, tattooed all over his body, including an upside down cross right on his shoulder. Including in this video, you can see another tattoo on his body of the all-seeing eye and the pyramid on his finger. And I'm sure if you look closer, you'll see more and more signs and symbols marked on him, because like I've said a million times, they mark themselves. And all you really need to see on this guy is the fact that he has an upside down cross tattooed on his flesh to know what he's all about. Now, in this video, Awful Things, you'll see the hot dog used, right? And where do we see that symbolism with the hot dog? It's a pedophilia symbol, right? Now, some people say, well, you can't take everything for, if somebody's eating a piece of pizza, you can't say, well, that's, pedophilia or something like that. But when it's placed strategically in videos like this where it makes absolutely no sense, where DAB, dab, drugs are bad, and the hot dog is a main mascot, in a video called Awful Things, and then on the chalkboard it says, stop eating my pencils. Lots of references to pedophilia, references to the occult, as you see him going through, in his school, going into the bathroom. You can see right on the wall, you can see 666. They're not hiding it. It's right there on the wall. Now, the character that he is involved with in the video is wearing the black and white Masonic colors. I mean, this video is just filled with stuff. As he's wearing the hot dog on his shirt again. And that's not a coincidence. She didn't just grab a black and white shirt out of her closet and say, hey, guess what? This shirt would be really good in this video. Yeah, it would be, right? Black and white. Now you can also see the upside down cross all over the wall behind him as well with the 666. And like I said, it's tattooed on his body. And this isn't a coincidence. This is how they operate. People see these videos, they don't think anything of it. They don't go, wow, this makes no sense. They get mesmerized by the imagery and the colors flashing, because that's how mind control works. Now you can see on his pants, he's also got the black and white checker on his pants. And like I said, the guy is marked from head to toe. Head to toe. He's got pentagram tattoos on his face, behind his ears. You got the Playboy bunny. You got the all-seeing eye. It's all over this character. So you know that this person was obviously dabbling in black magic, a member of the occult because of the fame. I mean, he's got almost 19 million views on this YouTube video. And he's somebody who rose to fame through YouTube and, supposedly making mixtapes and all that kind of stuff. But again, here are the interesting things surrounding the person's death. Because remember, of course, they do sacrifice their own members. They do all sorts of bizarre things to initiate these people in rituals and then to eliminate them in rituals. Rapper Little Peep, an emerging voice of the hip-hop scene and a YouTube star, died at the age of 21. A spokesman for the Arizona Police Department told CNN that police were called just before 9 p.m. Wednesday night after Lil Peep was found unresponsive by his manager in his tour bus, and said that first responders rendered medical aid, but they were unable to save him. After speaking with people on the scene and going into the tour bus, police said there was evidence of a possible drug overdose, most likely from Xanax. So I think that's the reason that a lot of people are questioning some type of foul play. Because, I mean, overdosing on Xanax, but it is possible. I mean, who knows how many pills the guy took? So obviously we're not medical examiners, so there'll be an autopsy to determine the exact cause of his death. No signs of any foul play, the police are claiming. People are saying, I do not believe Peep wanted to die. This is tragic. He had big goals and dreams for the future, which he had shared with me, his team, his family, and his friends. He was highly intelligent, hugely creative, massively charismatic, gentle and charming. He had huge ambition, and his career was flourishing. Well, his career is flourishing for a reason, because you can see who he associates himself with through the markings and the symbols in his music. You don't get a tattoo of an upside-down cross on your arm, and please, if I have to hear a person one more time tell me that the upside-down cross is honoring Peter, that it's a wonderful sign and a wonderful symbol, and it's not satanic and occultic, I think I'm going to put my head through a wall. People literally tell me that about the upside-down cross, that it's a good thing. Because it was how Peter was crucified, upside down, that we should embrace the symbol, even though it is a symbol for, the satanic temples, the satanic churches, all Satanists, all occultists. So he's got that tattooed on him, as well as the all-seeing eye on his finger. He didn't just randomly get it. Obviously, with this guy's instant rise to fame and popularity, he was a part of and initiated in these secret societies. But you can't go out and say that this guy was definitely sacrificed or there's anything like that involved, because there's really nothing to look at. I think with the other instances with the musicians who passed away earlier, the guy from Linkin Park and the other guy who I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but the two of them had very bizarre situations surrounding them because those were suicides, right? And with the suicides surrounding them and the fact that there was family members coming forward saying there was no signs of depression, or how fast the timelines got messed up, and how fast this guy managed to kill himself, and he killed himself in his bathroom, hanging himself. I mean, there was just so much stuff that was so bizarre that really would make you scratch your head and say, how is this even possible? Especially, when you see some of the tweets that some of their wives were making about what had happened in that specific situation. Now, I know most of you probably don't know who this guy is, because I didn't know who he was. Okay, I mean, a guy named Lil Peep, but I mean, this is the world that we live in, where we got grown men calling themselves Little Peep. I mean, I kid you not. But you can also see in other, pictures and stuff of him throwing up the devil horns. Now, I know most people feel that if you're a musician and you're somebody involved in music, you're going to throw them up, because it's supposed to mean rock and roll to many of the sheep out there. But no, I don't think you have to even ask the question, was this guy initiated or not? It's pretty clear. I mean, it's pretty clear. You rise to fame the way this guy has, you get promoted, the way that this guy was getting promoted, and the markings all over this guy's body show you that he was a part of the occult. So do I think that he was ritually killed? There's not enough evidence for me to say anything along those lines. Could it be? Yeah, very well. I mean, it could be, but I think it's more so what you're seeing here is a guy who possibly could have overdosed on drugs. I mean, I take a look at him and I see a guy who potentially could have had, some type of serious drug problem. Not saying that judging the guy, but I mean, most of these people in this type of limelight with the attention and the fame and the money they get obviously go down that path. But again, look at the markings. You see the all-seeing eye inside of the pyramid, the eye of Horus on his finger. You can also see a pyramid on the bottom underneath his finger, so it shows you the as above, so below. You see the black and white symbolism in his music videos, as well as the hot dog references, which make no sense whatsoever. Of course, you see the 666 on the wall. You see the pentagrams, these stars. Remember I did a video talking about how they'll use the star. People always give these celebrities a pass, and they go, oh, no, it's just a star. They're huge Dallas Cowboy fans. Now, you can see the pentagram on him, and you can see the upside-down cross. So Lil Peep, apparently people know who he is, or apparently some type of celebrity passes away from a drug overdose. But again, this was another person who was connected, certainly was initiated in the occult, and well aware of what he was involved with and who he was involved with. And whether it was a sacrifice or not, what these people need to remember is the price that they pay ultimately at the end is not worth the price. Because once their ticket's up here, their ticket's up for good unless they find salvation through Christ. Their ticket is punched one way to hell unless they repent and accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.